Do not let the negative voices win. Okay? With anything you do that might be difficult or you struggle with or you have a lot of emotion tied to, there's going to be some thought in your head about what could go wrong or what won't go right. The boxer gets in the ring and you can have as much confidence as you want, but a small thought in your head thinking that you can lose is what prepares a lot of boxers to become even stronger, to go to the gym, to make sure that they're training because they want to avoid that possibility. It might be deep in the recesses of their mind, but these negative thoughts are there. And I want to talk about it, right? Because what would happen if you were somebody who let those negative thoughts, those things saying you're going to lose, you're going to lose, you're going to lose, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, take over? Is that boxer going to train as hard for his match? Are they going to be as ready? All the things that they need to do in preparation, would they not be hindered with a negative voice that is powerful enough to hinder them, right? So what do we do about that? What do we do about negative voices constantly creeping up on us when we want to make change, when we want to do things, when we want to progress in life? And maybe you're somebody who feels like no matter what you do, there's always that little thing on your shoulder, and you're just like, you can't do this. You're not able to do this. Oh, that's too hard for you. Whatever it is. And you might have toyed around with a bunch of different ideas about what you can do about it. But I'll tell you what, really, first of all, understand that it's there. Understand that there is a subset of negative ideas and negative self-belief that exists in your mind, that exists in everyone's mind behind anything and everything that they could do. I think any great person who has succeeded at achieving what they want, or any person who has moved from the worst part of their life to a better part, or just advanced in life in some sort of way, will have those challenges of dealing with thoughts that aren't necessarily real, true, or conducive to helping you grow as a person. And you kind of might already know where I'm going with this. And it's really just the idea that you need to cultivate thoughts to battle those thoughts. And for a person like me, it's a lot easier to look at life and to look at my problems when I just understand I'm having a moment right now. I'll say things in my head like, oh, you're a loser, you can't do this, this is too difficult, or whatever those thoughts. Like, I just sit down there and I try and step outside myself and ask myself, hey, is this actually true? Is what I'm saying making any sense? When I tell myself, hey, you didn't do any work today, did I actually not do any work today? Or did I not do work that I thought was efficient? Did I not do work that I like to do, or whatever it may be? What happened to lead me to that point that I am now? And are these thoughts real or true? And then you have that dialogue, right? And in creating that dialogue, you're allowing room for rebuttals to that negative thought, right? You're going, okay, well, I heard that you're saying this about me, big old brain, but I don't think you're right. And here's why. And then you can come up with a list of reasons. And maybe those negative thoughts are right. But then you have to ask yourself the question of, hey, if I keep following down this train of these thoughts, is anything positive going to happen? Is anything going to change? Or is it just going to get worse? Well, it's probably going to get worse. So now we got to think, okay, maybe these thoughts are right. Maybe I'm not as good at something as I thought, or I'm not able to do something. Okay, but what can we do now? I'm here right now and I'm struggling, but I can hear these thoughts. What can I do to make things better? And then you go from there, and taking these thoughts and not becoming overly emotional about them, if possible, not letting them become you. This is why I think people will have some of the biggest struggle when they encounter negativity in their own head. They're just like, they fall into the belief that it is them, that it controls them in a certain way, and they might not even realize it. It's all true. They let themselves get into this emotional state, which is very hard to recover from, because all that negativity sometimes is tied with very, very dark thoughts and terrible past issues. And it brings up a bunch of things that it becomes very hard to think abstract and pull yourself back, right? And I'm not saying that this is an easy task by any means. And I'm not even going to say that I'm perfect at this, right? It's just something that I've been improving at bit by bit and realizing more and more and more that, hey, like, if I'm having all this negativity and I'm heading in a direction I don't want, well, that means that I need to figure out a way to go in the direction I actually want to go. Okay, well, what is that? What can I do now? What can I think of and move in a way away from this, right? And that is really what I wanted to talk about, because as maybe menial as it seems to some people, this is just so huge. And I know a big question that you might have if you're struggling with something like this and you've tried a bunch of things is like, how the heck can I get to a point where those negative voices aren't going to dictate my existence and dictate what I do? And that is a very complex and individual question for each person. But like I said, being able to take yourself outside of what you're saying and literally not take it personal and treat it as something that isn't fundamentally who you are. Yes, it's a part of you because it's your thoughts. Perhaps some of these thoughts are even rooted in logic, but that doesn't mean that there isn't another logical positive side with just as many good reasons to not fall into the trap of what's going on here. And then the more that you start disliking that side and realizing like you're not doing anything good for me at all, then you start leaning more into this side of, hey, maybe I can do something. Maybe I can make a positive change if I spend a few moments here and try to think. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. See you guys in the next video. Peace.